thing.
Yeah,
To the
really.
player. Because look at that. Look at that. It's a difference.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to... That's not the right logo, but it's the one I've got for right now. This is the first video of our annual Year in Review Awards. These will be the awards for the year 2016. And we will be doing a series of these videos every Tuesday for the majority of the month, except for the final Tuesday of the month, which will be the final countdown. This is the first video of our awards, which will feature awards given to movies that came out during 2016. Joining me is Chriz the Mole.
Hello, darling.
I said Chriz the Mole, not Simon.
Hello, darling.
And freshly checked up for health, Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Yeah, get all that vitamin D.
It's not that big. That's not that big a deal. I take a vitamin D pill.
She was in Arkham.
She was in Arkham. Okay, why not? She doesn't.
Her ability is to find everything. That's her superpower.
She does kind of look like a grown-up version of Catwoman from Gotham. Anyway, so why don't we go ahead and start with Pew, and we'll go in the usual order that we do for the countdown.
Okay. So that would be a best action moment, right?
Correct. First award will be the best action moment.
Alright.
I guess I should introduce each award as we go through, huh?
Well, you probably should mention what they are, because we could just say their names and they wouldn't know what they're for. But so best action moment
of the year.
Of the year, I went to the Deadpool opening with like where he counts down the guns and stuff. That was fucking awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that bit where he does like the stand back to back so he can do a double shot.
Yeah.
They're bad Deadpool. Good Deadpool.
Yep.
That was good. That was good. Mo, what did you give it to?
I gave it to Batman fighting Superman in the armored costume.
And that was also really good.
Where he goes, holds him back. You got the kryptonite, he swings him round. It goes through everything. It furthers the story. It's not just mindless action. It's
he literally hits him with the kitchen sink.
Yeah, it's pretty much it may be, as I know people will debate this, but it may be the best comic book fight we've had. Because it seemed like it was straight from the pages with some of the stuff they did and the speeches and stuff. I'm like, yay!
It was a good fight. All right.
Batman v Superman.
Nice. Well, I actually went to
one fight.
Yeah, that one fight. In my case, I actually went to the other side of things, and I gave it to that badass airport fight in Civil War.
That was pretty good.
Because all these heroes together, they're running at each other, they're flipping around, they're attacking, Spider-Man's webbing somebody over here, and Falcon's flying around, and Iron Man's shooting dudes, and Cap's throwing the shit, and they're just out. It was awesome. Just so much stuff going on. It was great. So that whole battle, that was cool.
Nice.
All right. And we'll go back over to Pew for our next award, which is the best comedy moment in film of 2016.
I didn't see that many comedies, so this kind of gets it by default. But it still was a funny movie. I did make me laugh a lot. Is in the Ghost. It's like pretty a lot of the humor for the Ghostbusters movie. So, yeah. I like the entrance, like the first ghost. I like that they kicked him in the ghost balls. There's like a lot of funny parts, and then I like she has like the tiniest bow tie in the entire world. It's just a bunch of stuff in there that made me laugh.
Nice. Nice. Very nice. Mo, what did you give it to?
This is a joint award. I have 2 moments I gave it to.
Okay.
Technically 3, but two are from the same film.
Gotcha.
Deadpool, the X-Men related jokes, i.e. the budget and the timeline stuff, that was funny as fuck. It made me laugh more than I should have. And for Ghostbusters, for when Erin's like, well, don't waste it, and just drinks the tea because she's clearly in love with Kevin. And I'm like, oh yeah, her and Kevin, they're so awkward. I love it.
Nice. All right. Well, if we're allowed to give it to 2, that works out because I actually had 2 that I wanted to use, so that works out better. The main one I wanted to give it to was, at first I was going to give it to everything in Deadpool, but I decided to be more specific, and I gave it to the scene where Deadpool breaks all his limbs trying to hurt Colossus, because that was hysterical.
That was really funny.
No, I gotta get you. That was funny. And I also, just because I really love it. Going back to my first award, the part of that airport battle where Ant-Man goes giant and gets giant, and Iron Man's flying around, just goes, okay, if anybody on my team has any spectacular powers you haven't made aware, now would be a good time. I laughed like hell at that line. Okay. Oh,
Yes.
Nice.
by the way, I forgot I had a sexy Deadpool picture for this. I didn't put it up. There we go.
Nice. I was just muted during that because I was vaping.
No, that's fine. Okay. So move on to our next award, which is the best emotional scene of the year in film. Pew?
I got it for Finding Dory for like multiple moments.
Mhm.
Pretty much because I felt the whole film was pretty much just more be more accepting of people with disabilities. I kind of got that theme almost through the whole movie, and also like that's like a whole emotional. And then she reunion with the family, reunion with like her home that she remembers, and then like how many families just where you go, So that was cool.
Hashtag just keep swimming. Mole, how about you?
This is this one and the next one are 2 other joint ones, but
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not going to say what it is because this is a major spoiler.
Okay.
But the ending of Star Wars Rogue One.
Okay.
That's right at the end of the year, but it still counts.
Yes, it does. It's valid.
Mhm.
And I also gave it to the Joker's origin and Killing Joke. Yeah, that's kind of cheating because it's straight from the comic, but hey, it's a film.
It is. It counts.
And I love Joker's origin where he's down on his luck, he's trying to be the Red Hood, and just everything, like how he just snaps, and he genuinely just wants to give his wife a life that he thinks she deserves, and it's like, okay, that's cool, I like that.
Nice. Okay. So for mine, and I couldn't find a picture of the actual scene, which annoyed me, but I got something that close enough.
Who's that? Oh, that's
No.
the Fantastic whatever.
For Fantastic
whatever.
Beasts, where to find them. The scene near the end of the film, this is a slight spoiler, but I don't think anybody cares about it nearly as much as a Star Wars spoiler. But there's a scene where this character right here is Jacob Kowalski. And he is what's referred to as a nomad, somebody who is a normal person, not a wizard. And he ends up getting sucked into the whole wizarding situation that's going on in this movie involving Newt's lost magical creatures and the other events that occur in the film. And he ends up forming a relationship with this woman right here. And I forgot her character's name. Shit.
Is she magic?
Yes, she is a witch. She is also what is referred to as a legilimate. She's a mind reader. Which is cool.
You say she's illegitimate because that's what it sounds like. It's probably not.
A legilimens is the word.
Legimin.
Legilimens.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah. A legilimens is somebody who can read minds.
You can't hide anything from her. You sure that's someone you want to be in a relationship with?
Pretty much. But anyway, she is that's Queenie Goldstein. She is the sister of Porpentina Goldstein, who is the main female love interest of Newt Scamander in the film. And she falls for Jacob Kowalski. And there is an emotional scene at the end of the movie after they've been through this whole adventure together where the president of the Magical Congress of the United States, the head witch of the United States, decrees that everybody who's non-magical has to have their memory erased. They have to forget everything that happened. And even though they've fallen in love and he's kind of become one of their group, she decrees no, he has to have his memory wiped too. And the scene is that there's a rain coming down. That's because of details I won't go into, the rain is erasing the memory of all the non-magical people because of something they did to it. And so there's this emotional scene where they come up out of the subway station where the final scene, the final battle thing in the movie happens. And they pause there and they have this emotional back and forth where not just between the two of them, but also because he's become such good friends with New and Tina during the course of the film. And so there's this emotional scene where they all say their goodbyes. And like he's finally, he says, no, I have to do. It's the right thing to do. I'm really gonna miss you guys in this world. And he even starts crying, but it's like it's the right thing to do. It's it's what needs to happen.
Couldn't they just move to Europe, but that's not a thing?
Theoretically.
Because I'm like, that's kind of, if you're really in a relationship and you're with someone you love, you'd be like, fuck this, I'm gonna go to Europe or go to some country where it's not illegal to have my memory wiped. I would just say, why wouldn't you do that? But okay.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Wasn't it in England, which is
no, this one's
part of
in
Europe?
no,
this one's in New York City.
in America. It's a
Oh,
lot.
I know they filmed it in London.
That'd be fun. It'd be hilarious.
Fair enough. But no, it takes place in New York City.
Yeah. They just have a law where muggles and magic people can't be together, then just go over someplace you fucking can.
Pretty much. But anyway, there's this one scene where he steps out of the rain and he kind of stands and he lets it fall on him. And as he does, Queenie there runs out and she gives him a kiss. And they hold it for a second and then she backs out and backs onto the platform. And he's just standing there with his eyes closed in the rain for a minute and then opens him and you know that he's forgotten. And he just looks at the subway platform and the other three are gone. And it's just that big emotional goodbye because he's the best character in the movie. By far. No offense to any other actors.
Sounds like he got fucked over.
He's the best character in the movie. And because of simply being non-magical, he had to have his memory wiped. There is a nice scene at the end, the very last scene, where he does get to open a bakery, which is what he was trying to do in the movie when he ended up running into the wizards. And in the very last scene, he opens his bakery, and we see that he's made baked goods in the shapes of all the magical creatures that Newt had that somehow he subconsciously remembers. And Queenie over here shows up. And there's a scene where she just is in the bakery and she kind of turns around after he finishes talking to someone at the counter and he just sees her. They just look at each other and he gets his grin on his lips. And it's either like he really is attracted to her or like maybe he remembers. So there's a possibility that maybe when the next movie comes out, maybe he'll be involved again and like they'll let him come back. But
oh, is this getting a sequel?
Oh yeah, Rowling's already written 2 and there's going to be 5 total.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're on this. But it was a really emotional scene where because he had been such a, you got to know him and like you basically saw the movie through his eyes because he was the non-magic dude, seeing all this magic stuff, all this crazy things, and so you were kind of watching it through his eyes. And so it was really sad to have to see him lose both the woman that he had fallen in love with and this amazing world that he had discovered and have to forget it all, even though he did get to have a little bit of it at the end. So that was just a really sad, emotional moment, and that I felt that was worthwhile of the movies that I had seen. That was long-winded. I apologize.
That's okay.
Let's go back over to Pew for our next award, which, according to my list, is the award for the biggest surprise of the year in film.
Surprise is Suicide Squad wasn't shit. I thought it was going to be shit, and it was actually good, and I enjoyed it. How about that? That turned my frown upside down.
Well, Joker is known to do that. That's one of his primary goals.
No, I thought because I like Killer Croc looked retarded and like I didn't like the new Harley's voice, at least in the trailer, but she grew on me, and like I don't know, I just thought like this was gonna be garbage, and it totally wasn't, and that made me really happy.
I'd be remiss if I didn't say, what do you mean the new Harley? This is the only live action Harley.
Oh, like
besides Birds of Prey.
I'm sorry, I'm used to her like in the comics and stuff, and and like the uniform, and not like how she looked here. And she has like a different voice than I expected her to have, and things like that. Like I wasn't like sold on the changes via the trailer, but then when I saw it, it worked out awesome. So yeah, that made me like really happy.
Good. Mole, how about your surprise?
This is the last one where I had 2, as I mentioned previously. But one, similar-ish to Pew's, is something from Suicide Squad. I gave it to Jared Leto's Joker. And the surprise being, I wasn't expecting too much with the tattoos. On him, I was like, okay, that's going to be the weakest part. He was really good. The other surprise was they cut half his stuff.
Yeah.
But the one I gave it a joint to was the Jungle Book, because I'll admit I expected to just go in there and leave thinking it wasn't as good as the cartoon. And yeah, besides Christopher Walken, who idiots on the internet will overrate just because of who he is, basically the film wasn't that bad. The film was really good. Besides him, the rest of the film's really fucking good. Like, really good. So I'm like, yay.
Nice.
The Jungle Book.
Yep. Great minds think alike, because I also gave it to Jungle Book for the same reason. Because I agreed. I thought going in, this is going to be a remake. It's going to be it'll be decent, but it's not going to be anything spectacular. It's just going to be there. After what they did, the Cinderella movie, I'm like, okay, it was good, but it wasn't anything spectacular, and I expected the same thing.
The Cinderella movie was amazing, to be fair.
It was okay.
It was really good.
Now, at any rate, I expected Jungle Book to be kind of mediocre, and I went in there and the animation was so good of the animals. They looked like real animals that were talking. The sets were beautiful. The kid they got could actually act. It was just awesome. That was a great, aside from Ooby-Doo, aside from that, like you said. Because that was goofy. And I would also give it, even though it wasn't actually in a movie, I would give an honorable mention to Spider-Man and Civil War, because holy shit. That was kind of, even though we knew about it in the trailer before the movie, that was still a huge fucking deal. Mole, you're muted.
I said if only he was relevant to the film.
I know, but even seeing him there was pretty awesome. So that was just kind of a surprise. When that trailer came out, and you just saw that, whooping. Hey guys, oh my god, it's Spider-Man. Nobody saw that shit coming.
Like I said, I was less impressed by that just because him and Ant-Man you could remove from the film and change nothing.
True.
Only because they made a big deal about it. At least, some of the other ones, like Thor Ragnarok coming up and stuff, where they've mentioned characters will be in it, they've said, no, it's just a small cameo. It's not important. And you're like, okay, cool.
Fair enough. All right. So, once again, I forget. I have pictures. I need to use these. I have Jungle Book right there. So, nice banner there. And let's move along to our next award, which is the That Was Awesome Moment of the Year.
Okay. That was awesome was the feeling I got after I watched Deadpool the movie, after I walked out of the theater. Because that was awesome. So, that's what I'm giving it to. I was like, yes, this is awesome! So that's what I'm giving it to. The entire movie of Deadpool. Or the feeling I had as soon as I walked away from the theater.
Nice. Mole?
I gave it to 1 just because, yeah, you knew it was going to be there, but it was fun as fuck. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man parade balloon in Ghostbusters, because the second he goes, and with his little face, I'm like, oh my god, that's so awesome! It's a Stay Puft balloon! This is exactly how I pictured my death. But no, I love that. So yeah, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man balloon, because that's one of the biggest. Oh my god! It's the first moment in a film since God knows when where I felt just like a kid again, like
Aww.
So yeah, I gave it to that.
Nice. So for mine, that was awesome. The one that came in, jumped into my mind here, because I'd had some doubt. I was one of those people who had some doubts about the portrayal of the character going into the movie, and I saw some scenes like, okay, this isn't as bad though. This looks pretty good. This was the scene that kind of sold me on it when they released. I think this wasn't out until the last trailer they released, but Batman beating the shit out of dudes in a warehouse like he's in an Arkham game, because that was fucking awesome. He just because they're just like, there are 2 dozen houses on the 3rd floor, sir. Let me drop you off on the 2nd. It's like, where's this going? Through the floor, bam, bam, smash, kill a dude. He
doesn't kill. He just made them sleep forever.
he was awesome as Batman.
Yeah, I just that scene sold him as Batman for me because I'm like, okay, I liked him in some of the other scenes. Like, all right, he seems cool. He's got the appearance, but that scene was like, okay, this is a cool Batman. I like this Batman. Just that was awesome.
Yep. Like I said, I thought he was an awesome Batman. I thought he would be just because of Argo, but still, I was like, yay! When we got him, I was like, that's awesome.
Nice. All right, and let's go back over to Pew for our final award for today, and that is going to be the biggest disappointment in movies this year.
Now, I will say that nothing really disappointed me a whole lot, so I'm not super disappointed in this, but just in press percentage-wise, it's the most disappointing out of all of them. I didn't love Rogue One. It was okay. I mean, like, I don't know. I just felt like I'm used to like other Star Wars movies, and it didn't match the same tone. There's nothing wrong with this movie, like at all. It just, I don't know. It wasn't like super like energized like I thought it might be. It was kind of more like a war movie, which I guess, duh, it should be. But like, I just didn't think of that, or I don't know. It wasn't like the best thing ever for me. And everyone is totally free to disagree.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't seen Rogue One, so I can't comment. So, Mole, how about yours?
Zoolander 2. I went in thinking it was gonna suck as bad as fucking, or what do you call it, Anchorman 2 sucked.
Mhm.
Like, really sucking. And I was like, okay. But, oh my god, it managed to suck worse.
It sucked worse.
It managed to make me disappointed for not having the Anchorman 2 level of just complete shit.
Move.
I was like, the bar was so low, only an ant could get under it, and they did it somehow. They drilled underneath. So yay, Zoolander 2, because that film's horrible. Like, just really bad. Like, they're like, oh, look how many celebrity cameos we have for 2.5 hours or however long the film is, to the point that you're like, there's no story here. It's just basically IMDb the movie at this point. But it's funny because we mentioned Justin Bieber and showed him. No, that's not funny. Member Berries, the movie, Zoolander 2.
Yeah. Or if we're going that way, maybe you can go get James Cameron to raise the bar back up again.
Right, what was yours, Jim?
All right, my biggest disappointment, I got. Because as soon as I went back and as I was compiling these the other day, I went through a list of the movies from last year, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh yes, fuck yes. Because I don't think anybody else here saw this. Fucking Inferno.
What was that? I've never even heard of that.
It's the it's the most recent Da Vinci Code movie.
Oh, is that even? I didn't even know that was still a thing.
Oh yeah, there's Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and now this.
Yeah. From what I understand, Pew, after watching some of those films, basically the Da Vinci Code 1 is like a mystery about who did it because of an evil book. The second one, he went so insane he grew a mustache and tried to make the movie Mary Poppins, and now there's this film.
Wait, how is the thing with like a bomb in like Rome about Mary Poppins?
He's making a joke and saying Saving Mr. Banks is in this franchise.
Oh.
See, that's actually a good movie.
It's not.
Even if it's a good movie, even if it's not historically accurate.
No, it's a bad movie because not only isn't it historically accurate, they then basically took yet another shot at the person who wrote it in a way that's completely disrespectful to her legacy. And kind of shits all over the books.
Fair enough. Anyway, Inferno. So, kind of. But this is, for those of you who might have known the prior two films, Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons, the only thing that connects them is that they all star Tom Hanks as a Harvard professor and, what's what I'm looking for here? Not cryptologist. Cryptographer. There we go. Cryptographer. Guy that specializes in code. Robert Langdon, played by Tom Hanks, up there, and they're all based on books that were written by Dan Brown. Now, the first two were okay. I like the first two. Da Vinci Code was pretty good. Angels and Demons wasn't bad. They got Ewan McGregor in there to be the bad guy. It's like, okay, that was pretty good. I like that.
Was this supposed to be Tom Hanks on the cover?
That's Tom Hanks there, yeah.
He doesn't even look like Tom Hanks.
And yeah, many can't screw the image, made it all blurry. It is Tom Hanks. It doesn't look that much like him in that shot.
It looks more like Tom Hanks than you do.
That's true. That's true.
It looks like, I don't know, like a Super Nintendo game trying to come to life.
Ah.
Yeah, the biggest disappointment about Inferno is just the ending, where he decides to put his soul into a cowboy doll.
What?
No. That's not a thing. I'm sure that's from a thing, but I don't even know what thing that's from.
I'm basically saying he child's played, aka Chucky, his way into a
Toy Story. Oh, okay. Now I get it.
They're all connected. It's the Tom Hanks verse.
Oh god. Wow. But no, for just a minute, Inferno. So each of the books is standalone. They don't really connect to each other aside from having the same character in them. And so they did the first two. They were pretty good. And then the third book was called The Lost Symbol. And that book was absolute shit. And Warner Brothers looked at it and went, that book is absolute shit. We're not making a movie out of that book. And I'm like, good on you. And then they said, and then Inferno came out. And this book was awesome. And they said, we're going to make Inferno a movie. I'm like, yes, I want to see that movie because it's going to be awesome. And then I went and saw the movie, and I watched it, and I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm watching the book right now. This is really good. They got the scene right. The actors are doing great. The okay. And for about the first 2/3 of the movie, I'm like, this is pretty good. They're doing a good job with this. I remember all these events. This is playing out. This I can watch the book. This is great. And then they got to the ending, and they fucked it up.
How did they fuck it up?
Well, let me tell you. In a nutshell, the premise of this movie is that Robert Langdon, Tom Hanks, wakes up in a hospital with a head wound and some memory loss. And basically, he's in a hospital in Florence, Italy, and with a head wound and no memory loss. And doesn't remember what he's doing in Florence, Italy, and how he ended up with a head wound in a hospital. And so there's a nurse there who tries to help him figure out what's going on, but guys bust into the hospital and start shooting at him and trying to get into the room. And so they go on the run, and the nurse, who is now caught in the middle of this, goes with him, and they end up at her apartment. And the two go off on an adventure based on something they found in Robert's coat when they got back to the apartment. In his coat, there was a codex thing that had an image of a painting with stuff because it's Da Vinci Code stuff. And it leads them on a trail where they start following clues that are all related to Dante's Inferno, is the painting in question.
Oh, I was going to say, based on the memory loss nurse thing, I was going to say, are you confusing this with Jason Bourne?
No.
Okay, so how did they fuck it up?
So the premise is they go on the journey to try to find out what's going on and what is happening. And what they end up finding out is basically there was this scientist dude who was really eccentric. And he posited the theory that all the world's problems stem from overpopulation. There's just too damn many people. And we see in the opening scene of the movie, he commits suicide running from the police. And what we find out is that Robert Langdon was brought in by an ex-girlfriend of his who works for the World Health Organization, because before this dude died, he hid a bag of plague somewhere that was set to go off and spread a plague around the world to kill a lot of people.
You know, I think this guy's the hero. Can continue.
With the intent being that, okay, the plague is going to spread all over the world, and that would cull the population down to a more manageable size. He believed that 4 billion people was a good size for the amount of people in the world. For those of them that might not be aware, we're between 7 and 8 right now, in reality. So anyway, so they run on the trails like, oh, we got to find the plague, and we got to stop the plague from being released to the world, and that's the premise of the movie. And the plague is hidden in a insert foreign country. I don't remember which foreign country it is. But anyway, there's this underground cavern, and it's in a plastic bag that's like the kind that dissolves in water, and it's in the water, and they're racing the clock to stop the bag from dissolving before it dissolves and the plague goes everywhere. So, in the movie, what happens is they end up going through the events, and like in the book, he finds out that the nurse that's been following him around is actually the ex-lover of the dude that committed suicide, that did the plague. And she was just using him to find the plague so she could make sure that it did get exposed, because she didn't know where he put it. He didn't tell her before he died.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask
And
again. How did they fuck it up?
I'm getting there now. So in the movie, we see her betray him, and then we see her go to some terrorist dudes that she apparently knows and get some explosives that she's going to use to go to the place and explode the bag and everything early to make sure the plane goes out. And Tom Hanks and the World Health Organization get there, and there's a big fight, and they're fighting in the water to try to get the bag. They put it in a containment box, and they're trying to open it. And there's this big fight, and she sets off the explosion, and it's, oh, is it going to be released? Is it going to be released? Is it going to be released? And it doesn't get released, and everything's okay at the end.
So you did want the guy to like kill the world?
No, let me explain. Here's what happened in the book. Because in the book, they continued following it, and she was revealed to be, the nurse was revealed to be the dead guy's lover who was putting the plague out there, but she didn't reveal that until a little bit later. That's not a big deal. But in the book, they get to where the plague is supposed to be, because the guy had released an image of the plague bag with a date carved next to it in the marble, which is when they knew when it was supposed to go off, and which is why they knew that this bag was out there, why they were trying to find it and stop it in the first place. Like he wanted to be known to the world that this was happening, that he did this, his great cleansing, whatever the fuck he called it. Well, in the movie, they get there, and the bag is already broken. And they're like, oh shit, we were too late. And they realize that that date that was carved there, which is there in the movie, that the date was not the date that the bag was going to break open. It was the date of that the plague would reach global contamination. And so they start panicking, like, oh god, what do we do? We got to find out what the symptoms of this are. What is this plague? What's it going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And they managed to capture and arrest the nurse lady, who confesses to everybody, explains to them that, no, my my late lover was not that barbaric, contrary to what people seem to think about him. He was a talented geneticist. What he released was not a plague. What he released was a virus that would affect the DNA of everyone in the world and randomly render 1/3 of everybody in the world sterile, unable to have kids. So that over the course of time, through the attrition of old people dying, the population would go down. Yes, there would be some emotional pain of people not able to have kids, but this would reduce the population in a humane manner. And because it was a genetic alteration, it would be inherited through all future generations, so that 1/3 of people not able to have kids would be maintained, and thus so would the population amount. It wouldn't be able to overgrow again.
You could adopt and shit. I mean, like, not having kids is like super shitty, but it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, and that's why it was a sudden shock. You see, it's that shock in the book of, oh my god, they were too late. The plague got out, because you didn't expect that to happen. You expected them to stop it, and they didn't. And then they revealed that it was actually not what they thought it was at all, and that the world is now going to have to deal with this repercussion of what this guy did, because, as they explained, this guy was like some ridiculous super genius, and nobody knows how to undo what he did to everybody's DNA.
So basically, they just have to deal with it in the book, and in the movie, they tidied everything up.
Exactly. In the book, they it happens. They have to.
Yeah. I regret my decision for asking you in the first place, but we had too much time on it.
Stop. But they basically, in the book, they have to deal with the repercussions, which in the next book, maybe that'll come up, I don't know. But basically, the World Health Organization deal with the repercussions of all these people not being able to have kids now, and how this is going to affect the world, and how they're going to tell the world. And in the book, they just said it was a regular plague, and they said we need an action scene, so we're going to have a bunch of dudes fight over the plague, and some random bombs and explosions that don't need to be there for no reason.
You mean
it's like, what the fuck? The part of the book that was so good was the twist at the end. It was, oh my god, it got out, and oh my god, it wasn't even a virus. It was this thing that rendered everybody sterile. Holy shit, that's genius. And instead, you fucked it up. And you're like, no, there's going to be a plague and random explosions for no reason, because we need a climactic action scene in this movie. No, fuck you, Warner Brothers, Ron Howard, whoever fucking came up with this. No, fuck you. You ruined it. You ruined the ending of a good book. Fuck you. I was disappointed in that ending. I was looking forward to seeing that ending in practice.
It makes sense, though.
Why does it make sense?
To me, well, the action one and stuff like that, and not telling people, oh, now everyone in the world's fertile and all that shit. So that makes a better film.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why for visual purposes.
It's like, do you have a problem with the fact Spider-Man was in Civil War and didn't get fucked over and unmasked?
True.
That was in the book.
That's true.
And was actually really important moment. It was like the cover of a lot of the Civil War stuff, yet in that he's completely removable.
They also didn't have Robot Thor.
They also didn't have Claw. But that was that, and it's because Thor's not dead in that universe. That one makes sense. But the Spider-Man thing, it was a huge thing for someone to just unmask and have their whole lives done and all that, and their villains watching that leads into Thunderbolts and all that stuff. You kind of want to. They should have done it to someone.
Yeah.
I mean, based on the fact that they kept talking about Hawkeye's fucking farm and his family and shit in one of the other films, they could have done it to him.
Yeah, and his pregnant wife and everything.
Yeah, and his look at my barn.
Yeah.
Look at my barn.
And that's a badass barn. Nick Fury hangs out in that barn.
Yep, Batman has a Batcave. Iron Man has like Stark Tower. Hawkeye has a barn.
Yep, that's about right. But
A
yeah,
grade.
but yeah, I mean, I understand it made for a better visual thing in the movie, and I get that. It just really annoyed me because the ending of the book was so good, and I was really looking forward to seeing that on the screen because I knew a lot of people going to see this were not going to have read the book, and I was going to see everybody's reaction and see such a a well done narrative twist on the screen, and it just really disappointed me that it wasn't there, and it kind of ruined the whole movie for me.
Oh no, I wasn't. I'm not saying no just because it's visually pleasing. I was also on about the fact, as you mentioned, oh, now the rest of the world can't have kids and stuff, which they want to be careful of, because if someone is in the audience watching this and can't have kids, that's kind of hugely dickish and an emotional thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can see that being a thing. Okay, 1/3 of the world can't have kids. Yeah, that could be okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, it's sort of like Watchmen, the film, where they don't do the giant octopus at the end.
There's a giant octopus.
There is in the book, because the book's sort of like a deconstruction of what the superhero genre is. So at the end, they just throw something silly in there because fuck it, that happens.
So
in a film, that wouldn't make sense.
So we can't do the giant octopus, but it's okay for Dr. Manhattan's junk to be all over the screen. Fair enough.
To be fair, he was meant to be a naked character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People didn't make as big a deal when Silver Surfer's junk came out as on a surfboard.
That's true. But Silver Surfer didn't really have junk, though. He just kind of had a flat thing down there.
In the movie, he had Silver Surfer junk.
Did he? Okay, I don't even remember that.
Yeah. He was hung like a silver horse.
Okay, then.
But nobody's hung better than those putties in the costumes.
No one hung better than the Yellow Ranger.
Alright, at any rate, that is the conclusion of our movie awards.
Movies, woo!
So, thank you two for joining me.
I remember them.
I remember them too. So stay tuned next week. We do, for the first 3 videos, maintain the same categories, just in different areas of entertainment. So next week, we'll be giving the same 6 awards, but to TV shows, or episodes of TV shows.
Yep.
So stay tuned for that. That'll be next Tuesday, same time. And the Tuesday after, we're going to be giving the same awards to video games. So enjoy those. Our 4th video of the month will be an assortment of other awards for categories that didn't fit elsewhere. And, of course, the 5th Tuesday of this month will be the final countdown.
Yep. And as per usual, the rule is we have to have seen it ourselves in case any of these movies or anything, someone's like, but there's a much worse movie to be disappointed that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, if I had saw Zoolander 2, I'm pretty sure I would have chosen that.
Probably, yeah.
Yep. Kung Fu Panda 3 was oddly good.
Yeah.
That could have been a surprise because I was expecting shit, and I watched it, I'm like, this is actually not shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as good as the TV show.
Nice. Yeah, and I didn't get to see Moana yet, but Moana might have made it in for emotional stuff. It's a Disney movie. I'm sure there's an emotional scene in there somewhere.
Oh, there totally is. I felt like there were so many more moments in Dory than there were in this. Not
That's
that
fair.
they weren't any more emotional. There were, but there was like specifically emotional scenes where I felt the whole movie was more emotional.
Okay.
Yep.
Fair enough.
And like I said, you need to watch Rogue One. Just like I said, the ending is emotional.
Good to know. So, with that, we'll see you next week for TV Awards, folks. Peace.
Television.